What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another live stream. This one is going to be about mimicry, part two, and organized stalkers' belief in repetition. Their belief in repetition. So, I would like to start my live stream off by saying lie detector tests are $400 plus, meaning I'm not a part of any law enforcement, any secret organizations, any secret societies. No one's making me come on here and say anything. Um, and yeah, that's it. But let's get to it. So their belief in repetition, gang stalkers' belief in repetition. Just like how you working out, like you work out and you use your dumbbells and your bench press, and you just keep doing it and you see results. You see results. So you might you know it's reverse with well, it's not even actually reverse, but like when you use your dumbbells and you use bench press, um, you grow, like you strengthen, and you can visually see results. Like you can see your muscle growing. You should actually grow through their repetition. You should understand how important that you are for them to have to continuously be angering you every day, continuously be doing these things to you every day. They believe in repetition. And unfortunately, it works in different ways on certain people. Down to you having, down to you becoming, even down to the bottom to where you're becoming have a spending habit. The least thing, you can have a spending habit all the way up to you being incarcerated because um, you do something to one of the perpetrators or something like that. You know, it can, the stuff they do can make you do a bunch of things. So I'm just trying to make y'all gain control of that and understand it. They want any type of reaction. They want any type of reaction. Any type of reaction. It even have you. I'm not even gonna say that one. That's a funny joke. I was gonna say that. I was gonna say something like, you can see. Yeah, I'm gonna say it anyway. Like you can see one of y'all will see. Well, not even one of y'all. It never be me. I hope it won't be none of y'all. But they can be threatening you so much. They can be threatening you with different things. They were threatening Myra Mays with incarceration. His type of targeting, Myra Mays type of targeting, that have you looking at a 16-year-old that's looking at you, and you like, well, shit, it don't even matter. Like, I might as well, right? Because I'm about to, be incarcerated. You feel what I'm saying? Like that'll have you looking at that stuff like that, you know. But it just they want any type of reaction. That was a bad example, but a good example at the same time. But they want any type of reaction, and then you ain't even did nothing. You won't even be in trouble for nothing, but just for them telling you that you're in trouble for something subliminally, guess what? You'll get in trouble for the thing that the thing I just mentioned. Like a 16-year-old looking at you or something like that, you just like forget it. I'm finna get in trouble anyway, for whatever reason. You feel what I'm saying? You'll get in trouble for doing the 16-year-old thing. I'm just saying that's a bad example. I haven't done that, never will, but just saying. They believe in repetition. They believe in repetition. They have a very good belief in repetition, and it's the thing is, it's just like it doesn't really work. They have a strong belief in repetition, but once you understand what they're trying to do, it just doesn't really work. They have a strong belief in repetition. Repetition is, like I said in my post, which I'm not reading from right now, Groundhog Day. waking up every day to the same thing, right? And then the character in the movie eventually goes crazy. Like Truman, I haven't even seen Groundhog Day. I just seen somebody speak on it, but waking up every day to the same thing, at the same time. Like somebody, you walk out your door and the same person right there, and they say the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like they have a belief in repetition. Constant harassment. Some of these things could stop. Gang stalking could stop, but it really can't stop because once you're gang stalked, it's like forever you'll be listening to everything, every conversation that you hear, you'll be listening to. You'll be looking for every word that has something to do with you, and whether you're listening to the radio, anything, whether you're listening to, indirected conversation, it'll never stop. Like so they really induce a sort of a mental illness in targets. So yeah, it's just what it is. But you gotta learn how to deal with it. Just learn how to deal with it because they believe in repetition. It's like I said, I made the example with exercise. You repeatedly doing exercise, you're going to see results. You're going to see results if you repeatedly doing exercise. You're going to see results. So they believe in results. You know, they've gotten me to snap out. At times, verbally and things like that. I can't snap out on anybody. Like I can't snap out on anybody, but they've gotten me to snap out verbally, to myself. Somebody does something, I want to talk about it and alone. Like they got me to snap out in that way. But yeah, like they have a strong belief in repetition. And I'm going to get to some of the things that I posted. It should be blatant to you. Your persecution should be blatant, and you should always be smiling. You should always be, I would say, you should always just be smiling. Like for you to wake up every day and go through someone paying people to harass you, you should be smiling. You should feel like you have won because your mind is too advanced. And they decided to put you on this list out of some type of pure hate. You know, that's what it is. It's nothing else. It's nothing else. It can't be anything else. Gang stalking isn't, you don't just do this stuff to people. This is like they're trying to make you some type of slave or something. You know, gang stalking doesn't happen to everyone. It's people that they feel, jealous of, and they'll put you on this list. They'll put you on a gang stalking list. And a lot of people like to say, I don't really know if like an ex or friends or parents or anything like that can put you on some type of list, but it's logistic. Like it's logic that they can put you on a list. What's unlogic is people thinking that these people are actually conducting, um, and dispatching these people. Like, somebody that you used to deal with in whatever way is dispatching these people with scripts and they're the ones doing it and they're the ones mad. No, they can put you on the list though. They can do that. But I kind of doubt that too. I kind of doubt that too. It's just you winning. You won, and they don't want you to realize that. They do not want you to realize that you being gang stalked. People look at this as a bad thing. It's bad what they're doing, yeah. But you should have a complete acknowledgement to your ego. You should acknowledge your ego way more than you do. You should acknowledge your ego way more than you do. Extremely more than you do. Acknowledge your ego because you should. They're paying people to follow you around and harass you, bro. Like, I say this thing because, I'm going to say this one Bible verse. A man that travels gains much of knowledge. Well, I've traveled from state to state to state to state to state and experienced the same program of harassment and targeting going on. There is no excuse for that from them. There's no excuse for that. There's no, oh, well, you did this. Oh, well, you did that. Oh, well, you did. No, there is no excuse for that. That is pure jealousy. That's pure hate. I've been to multiple states and seen the same program running. And the Bible says the man that travels gains much of knowledge. I've seen the same program running from state to state, state to state. So there is no reason for it outside of pure hate and jealousy. This does nothing. The program does nothing but get someone to want to, I would say, crash out. But yeah, they have a strong belief in repetition. A strong belief in repetition. If we harass this person every day, he's going to do something. We're saying he's crazy already or something like that, right? I guess they're saying you're crazy. Or the system has it in that you're crazy. So they want, that's just like a person having one felony and they don't get any more felonies. The system's angry. You feel what I'm saying? The system's angry. It's like a person having one felony and they don't get any more felonies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the system look bad because, hey, we expect this person to be a career criminal and this person is doing nothing. It's just like saying someone is a career criminal and they have one felony. It's like saying a person is a career criminal. It's like, say, the system, the legal system, law enforcement system says that you're a career criminal and you only have one felony, but they having meetings about you every week saying that you're a career criminal, and I guess they telling people this type of stuff, right? But you're never doing anything. So they gotta harass you for that stuff. They gotta harass you for those reactions. And I hear this stuff from other people, and they be like, they harass you for it. So when you do something, it's like, see, look, I told you so. I heard that from somebody else. I heard that from multiple other targets, but yeah. Hacking, cyber torture, all of that type of stuff. I'm just now looking at a person that has been saying, I know I'm correct on what I say. I just now found another page, and I've started sharing his post. But I just now found another page. I started sharing his post. He's saying the exact same thing I was saying. He's saying he's pointing the finger at exactly who it is and who I was pointing at. And I just found the page after I've been pointing the finger for years. I just now found the page. I just now found the page saying exactly what I'm saying. And he doesn't even post anymore. His last post was like 2 years ago. What is it? He's real vulgar though, so be careful listening to him if you feel uncomfortable listening to that type of stuff. But Cliff Fenwick, That's CLIFFFENWICK. But he's telling you the exact thing that you're dealing with instead of just telling you a lie or something. Instead of just telling you a lie, he's telling you the exact thing that you're dealing with. And these three little agencies, a lot of people want to think that they're dealing with some type of gatekeeper. You're on the right track because they're involved in everything that there is, especially the CIA in music, things like that. They're involved in every aspect of society that it is. These things have been documented. They're definitely, they're definitely in there. Like they're definitely in there. Like it's sad, but that's another reason that I just, I stopped believing in that stuff. Like those people are the police. You know what I'm saying? Like musicians, they probably don't even know what they have around them. They don't even know who around them. You know what I'm saying? But that's another story. Not nothing I'm really interested in to talk about. But yeah, like that's sick, bro. It's actually disgusting. But yeah, so I'm going to get into the mimicry because yesterday I got a call and I had to get off of YouTube real quick. I had a call. My YouTube just kind of shut out. My StreamYard just shut out. But I'm going to get into the mimicry again so I can, so y'all can listen to that. Binge watch this stuff or whatever. But the mimicry, don't mimic them back. It only makes you look mentally ill. So don't mimic them back. Like when they doing certain things, like things that you want to do back. Like I said yesterday, a perfect example was I was in a McDonald's and some people was in there and they were talking about something and it was a kind of an indirect conversation, something that would make me mad. Um, so what I did in retaliation was I grabbed my phone and I used my phone to act like I was on the phone, so I can say something disrespectful to them. Yeah, so don't mimic. It's a scientific method. It's to get you doing that stuff all the time. Uh, when they hack my games and stuff like that, I still kind of do it. I still kind of do it sometimes. Like I'll mouth that I don't care. Like I won't say it out loud. But I just say I don't care. Like whatever game tag or something like that, I just say I don't care. I won't say it out loud, but and no one's watching me while I'm saying that stuff. But it's just it just makes us look mentally ill. But mimicking them back is something that I have stopped doing. I see a lot of targets that I binge watch. I see them doing that. I think somebody making a middle finger, and then blatantly put up a middle finger. That's the type of stuff that's how they want you acting. That's how they want you acting. You know, that's how they want you acting. They want you acting like that. I don't go around recording, you know, or have some type of body cam on me or something like that. Because what if I'm talking to somebody or something and they notice that and smoke me? You feel what I'm saying? So that's why I don't have, I don't even do that anyway. I don't walk around recording that type of stuff anyway. That's the goal that they want. That's what they want. For you to end up gone because of something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what they want. So that's why I don't record most things that they're doing, but you can check out my, the stuff that I do have that's on my shorts and stuff like that. I don't watch those anyway. When people go around recording their targeting, I don't want to see you recording your targeting. I want to see you uh, giving knowledge about your targeting. That's what I want to see. I want to see where you at mentally. I want to see how much do you care about others that are watching your YouTube channel. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that. I don't want to see you recording and targeting. When somebody say that, like they trying to like, they might work for somebody. I don't know. You know, most people say that. I ain't never think about that, but they want you to record your targeting, but they might really work for somebody. And I'm just gonna keep it like that. Like, you know, I want to hear the knowledge that is going to lead people in the right direction. That's what I want to hear. The knowledge that's going to get people to not react. That's what shows me that you're a target. That's what shows me that you're a target. I found his name. The one dude, Deep Fake Rob or something like that. Found his channel. And that's the dude that killed one of his family members, unalived one of his family members over an argument. He's gang stalked as well. So it's people that react. You can't react in these ways. So when I get on here and tell y'all this stuff, I'm not telling you this stuff to make you feel good. I don't know where your ego is to where you're thinking that, or you're not thinking to feel good about yourself when you have people deliberately trying to sabotage everything that you do. You know what I'm saying? Like that doesn't happen to people. It doesn't happen to people. And then for you to notice, it probably does happen to people, matter of fact. But we know this. We know it. Like, we know it. Like, we know that people are blatantly, deliberately trying to sabotage what we have going on. Like, for sure. So this is what you have to understand. Like, you gotta have an ego when it comes to this. Because if you don't, you're gonna end up looking at these people like the cool kids, and you gotta fight them. Just like I said in the last video, I identified. Once I identified who was doing this stuff, gang stalking, it didn't stop, but it became something that was, it just rub off of me. Like it slides off of me. Gang stalking doesn't really work for me. Once because I was identifying these people as I was identifying these people as cool kids, and in 2023, around 2023 or something like that, I finally identified them as citizen cops, citizens on patrol, citizen informers. That's when my mindset changed. I was like, oh yeah, that does make sense. Gangsters don't track people and do nothing to them. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, they don't track people down and do nothing to them. Like, you know, and gangsters definitely don't know psychological warfare. They're definitely not going to put on a shirt that says something um, to walk in the store just to make you see it. That's called psychological warfare. Gangsters don't know psychological warfare. Whether they use an app or something to track people down and target them. It's so once I identified them as working with the police, my life became so much easier. And it's the same thing in your situation. Even if you think that, let's put it like this, even if you think that it's something, some other organization or some secret society is trying to recruit you, that secret society, or make jokes about you, that secret society is working with law enforcement. We have the CIA. There are no secrets. I don't mean to say that in this um, in this chat, but there are no secrets. Definitely no secret societies. Definitely no secret societies. Definitely. There's definitely no secret societies. Everything has been infiltrated by law enforcement. Everything. Even this gangster music that you hear and listen to, which I don't listen to anymore. That being 10% of the reason. Other reasons all fall in 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%, 10%. Right? So that's just what it is. These things are just blatant. But they believe in repetition, and you shouldn't mimic them. You shouldn't mimic them back when they do certain things. The fake cough, and you fake cough back. I seen somebody do that in a video recently. Terrible decision. You hurting your mind when you do that. You fighting your mind when you do that. You don't do that stuff back. like I used to, like I said, like with the McDonald's conversation and me fake getting on the phone because somebody did a directed conversation in front of me, and I fake got on the phone and did a direct conversation back. I got on the phone in front of the people and faked like I was on the phone just to say what I wanted to say to them. Like, yeah, that stuff can end bad, and it doesn't just do that. It Those directed conversations, the mimicry, when you do these things back, they go into your private life. Not them, not the person, not the people that do the mimicry to you, but when you mimic people back, it goes into your private life. Like, you'll be doing it all day. You'll be sitting there talking to yourself all day because you decided to mimic somebody back that hasn't said a word to you. It goes into your private life when you do that. So you just want to completely um, not entertain. You don't want to entertain these people, bro. Excuse me. But you don't want to entertain these people. And my introduction is the way it is because I want this to be a channel that you can come and listen to. And if you think that I'm gaslighting you or something like that, you will have to question your mental health, and that's for sure. This is a channel that you can come to. This is a channel that you can come and listen to. This is one of the only channels that says lie detector tests are $400 plus. I'm not a part of any law enforcement, any secret society, or any secret organizations or any organizations. No one's getting on here. No one's telling me to get on here and say this stuff. If I'm reading from something, I'm reading from my YouTube post, and I say that. So this is a channel that you can come to and feel comfortable to listen to. That's why I'm going to make thousands of live streams, so you can binge watch them. Because that's what I do. I binge watch live streams and Target's making long videos. I binge watch those. That's like my music. It's music to my ears to hear somebody speaking of the stuff that I speak on. Like, it's literally music to my ears. I don't listen to music. I don't do any of that. I don't listen to any music. I listen to straight up gang stalking, and I play games. I'm playing Call of Duty or Madden or something like that. And listening to gang stalking, not at the same time. But yeah. But yeah, they believe in repetition. They believe in repetition. They believe in repetition. They believe in repetition. They made it a law. And I get into this while I'm on here. It's gonna be like a freestyle streaming, right? They frame of mischief by the law, like the Bible says, and they made it a law without showing the scars that they cause. Things like FISA 702, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. They could be that's they could make that fall under they can make that fall under a law, what they're doing to us. They could make it fall under a law. They can make what they're doing to us fall under a law. You know what I'm saying? They frame with mischief by the law. Like, the Bible is real, bro. You need to get into it. But like it, I'm sorry to anybody that don't really believe in that stuff, but it's just crazy. Like, it's insane how how the Bible was made. Like, we don't know how long ago, and these layman term scriptures, these layman term scriptures that were said thousands of years ago, possibly. It's crazy. It's insane. It's great. It's like great, as they're bad people. And that's for sure. But yeah, they frame with mischief by the law. But it's blatant to my eyes. But we're gonna change the subject. You're dealing with alphabet agencies. I'm just going through my YouTube posts, scrolling down my YouTube posts. But you're dealing with alphabet agencies. If you want to look at the person, he's kind of vulgar. He says a lot of crazy things. But if you want to look at the Cliffview, what is it? Cliff Fenwick. If you want to look at his page, he's pretty much telling you his videos in like max 10 minutes, but he's pretty much telling you everything that you're dealing with, and it entertains me. It should make gang stalking a little bit more fun to you. Like, gang stalking is fun to me. It confirms my knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Like, it confirms my knowledge. The things they do confirm my knowledge. The persecution confirms my knowledge. So that's why gang stalking really is become something good to me. Like, haha, like y'all trying to sabotage me that bad. Ha ha ha. It's funny. Like, it's exciting. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's exciting. Like, it's real exciting. You should feel the same way. It'll probably make things different for you, instead of you thinking these people are some type of cool people or something. I know I was thinking like that before. They're not cool people. They're not a part of Cool Club. Anybody that's not gang stalked is probably, you know, unconsciously alphabet agents. At the least. Unconsciously a cop at the least. You know what I'm saying? Unconsciously a cop at the least. All citizens unconsciously a cop at the least. I used to, like I said, when somebody came up to me talking about something like, any type of conspiracy, or any type of any before I was being gang stalked 2018, before anybody came up to me talking about any type of conspiracy, anything, you know what I would do? Like, I would jokingly, I would say jokingly though, I would jokingly walk away. Like, I would walk away jokingly. Like, somebody came up to me talking about a conspiracy, because we, citizens know subconsciously, yes, that's the word, subconsciously, citizens know that, uh, speaking of the truth, you know, it can get you hurt. Speaking the truth, citizens know that. Citizens know that. So they stay away from it. I naturally used to stay away from it, even though I probably even looked it up. Like, I probably looked certain things up that was conspiracies and things like that. But when somebody come up to me talking about it, I would jokingly walk away, literally. Like, well, man, I don't know what you're talking about. And I'd probably like do it like like I probably make my eyes wide and like you talking about the wrong stuff. Like you feel what I'm saying? Like I'll do it like it's a joke. Like you know, like but yeah, like that's how citizens move. You know, a lot of people thinking they family involved with this stuff and things like that. Like yeah, that can be true. A lot of our parents and stuff like that did become Freemasonic, Eastern Stars and stuff like that. Not saying it has anything to do with it, but they hear you listening to the things that you listening to on your TV or on your phone. If you play these things out loud when you're at home and things like that, they hear that type of stuff. Anybody hear that type of stuff. Anybody hear you speaking or listening to truth. It could be your girlfriend. Say you in the house with your girlfriend, and she hear you listening to, say you listening to a civil rights activist talk talk on a talk on TV. You listen to a documentary they speak on like corruption or the '60s and stuff like that. Say you listening to that type of stuff. I guarantee you, I give her 2 months maximum. 2 months, and she's gonna be in another relationship. She gonna leave you alone. Because because people hear you listening to that type of stuff, it makes people run away from you. You know what I'm saying? I personally haven't experienced that. I always keep that stuff away from significant others. Um, you know, my parents have definitely heard me when I did live with my parents. They definitely heard me listening to, you know, the woke section of YouTube. They've definitely heard me listening to the woke section of YouTube. Definitely. You know, talking, my mom, she'll come downstairs and be like, don't be listening to that stuff. All them folks crazy. You know what I'm saying? And that'll make them side. And stuff like that, bro. And they don't care, bro. 9 out of 10, your parents got insurance on you. And that's the real fact. That's the real fact. And they gonna be hushed. They gonna be told to stay quiet if something do happen to you. That's a real fact. That's a real fact. That's a fact. 9 out of 10, your parents got insurance on you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying they'll do it to you, but if something do go on, they all right. You know what I'm saying? They definitely ain't gonna side with you, and they definitely ain't gonna, try to speak about it. I know I'm kind of all the way everywhere, but yeah, you got to be conscious of this stuff. You have to be conscious of that type of stuff, bro. You know, only thing you should be focused on is, breathing and making sure that you good. Watch your back and stuff like that. I'm not saying there's a threat or anything like that. I do that. I make sure when I gotta cross the road and stuff like that, I make sure I'm on point. I'm looking until I get off the street. I don't even walk on the street with my back turned. I walk to where I can see cars. Like I can see the car. I walk to where I can see the cars in front of me every time. Sometimes I walk all the way if I gotta walk down the street and it's a parking lot, I'm gonna use the parking lot instead of using the street that's near the cars. I'm gonna use the parking lot more. Don't trust these people, bro. Cause then you a targeted individual, bro. You likely ain't finna go by gunshot. You ain't got no enemies. If you decided to get on here, you ain't got nothing. You ain't finna go by gunshot. You know what I'm saying? Likely. You know. But yeah, just understand these type of things. Excuse me, real quick. But yeah, you have to understand these type of things. Yeah, but I just question a lot of people on here. You know what I'm saying? So I like to start my live stream off by saying certain things that people have never said. You know, like to clear perpetrator things, to clear perpetrator um, slander or anything like that. No one will ever accuse me of that. A lot of take the test is literally $400. This is a way that we can meet up without having any perpetrators in there. Lie test every question about secret societies, and if you involved in the police, law enforcement, is anybody telling you to, all of these things can be answered. But I question a lot of people on here. I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just crazy. The choices of wording, um, everything. The choices of wording, it's just a bunch of things, and it's just crazy, bro. It's just really crazy. But I'm a knowledgeable person for you to come and listen to. That's all I get on here to say. I'm a knowledgeable, uninvolved with any law enforcement, any secret organizations, anything. No one's telling me to come on here and say certain things. Anything, all of that stuff can be lie tested. Anything. So that's why I just stress that y'all come on my page and listen. I'm not trying to grow this channel. It's literally just for help. And I would say a little bit of retaliation. About 5% of retaliation. 5% of letting the devil know that he can't get me. 5% of retaliation of just removing the mental illness from people's minds that's targeted, because I had a mental illness that they caused. That retaliation. The retaliation, to make you stop talking to yourself at home for them. Because that's all who listening to you. You know what I'm saying? Law enforcement, aka Hollywood. That's all who listening to you. That's all who listening to you. You know what I'm saying? And I say that because they have a documented involvement in that stuff. So yeah, that's just what that is. But yeah, and I have no interest in that stuff. So that's why I show my face on here. So you'll never see me as a targeted individual and then see me on a music video somewhere. That'll never happen. That's why I come on here and show my face. So that can't happen. You know, Nor do I even make music anymore. But let's get back to me talking about gang stalking. Yep, mimicry. Things like that. You definitely don't want to mimic them back. And things like that. Because you'll definitely end up doing that stuff forever. Trying to end a forever fight with an unknown enemy. In a forever fight with an unknown enemy. You know? And if you don't know, I'm trying to tell you, But in a forever fight with an unknown enemy. That's you will end up, you'll be fighting an invisible enemy if you mimic them back. You'll be mimicking it. You'll if you mimic them back in public, You'll be mimicking them back in the house when you're alone. You know what I'm saying? Like I seen a target. I used to do this stuff too, but I heard a target say he used to dance. He used to dance to himself just because it make them mad. Like he'll get in his house and he'll dance. Like he'll dance to this. Or like he'll like sing or rap to himself or something like that. Like that's so funny. Like that is really, and it's not funny because it's a mental illness. Like this mental that'll. Well, it's not a mental illness, but it's making you. Just for me acknowledging that person doing that, it's making a mental. It's creating a mental illness within yourself because you're gonna start doing everything that's just unnormal. You're gonna be that person that walk past somebody, they don't see no headphones in your ear, they don't see no phone in your hand. You gonna be that person that walk past somebody and just saying shit to yourself, like, and just looking crazy. That's how they want you to look. That's how junkies naturally act. Or like crackheads, or like, junkies or crackheads, that's how they naturally act. That's how they naturally act. Like they'll be talking to themselves. But a targeted individual will be, I will be talking. I ain't never touched a drug in my life besides weed. I think I might have took one or two perks when I got seriously injured. Like it was prescribed. I ain't never touched a drug in my life besides weed and alcohol. I've walked down the street talking to myself because I felt like they was listening. Do you see what I'm saying? You gotta move stern. You gotta move like a king or a queen. You gotta move strong instead of moving how they want you to move. You gotta be strong. Because this is a real character. This should be what a targeted individual acts like. Moving strong, head high. You know what I'm saying? You're being targeted. If you haven't left your city, you're being targeted around your state. And I know for dang sure, if you a target and you leave your city, it's going to go to your next city. When you get to that next city, give it a week. Like everyone else says, give it a week. Give it a week. Guaranteed. It's going to start. So why don't you find your power in being harassed around your state? And when you leave out of your state, it's definitely going to go out of that state too. So how don't you find your power in that? How don't you find your power in that? Do you know how important it, like, very important person, bro. Very important people. Very important people. You fall outside of the state, fall around in your state, harassed, psychologically tortured, and things like that. The state naturally does these things. An example of states naturally doing things is um, the license plates in Georgia, where I used to stay at. The license plates in Georgia, the license plate center, they naturally, um, they naturally, they naturally generate the word cry. Like the license plate place in Georgia, the DMV in Georgia naturally generates the word cry, like CRY. Four letters. I mean, four numbers. It naturally generates the word cry. So they plausible deniability in driving certain folk crazy that understand they're being followed around. You know, it's all the targets. Like even when you just look at the signs that's on the street, look at the billboards that's on the street. Everything is perverted in some type of way, whether it's sexually perverted or perverted into where it says something else, like like some billboards threaten you. You feel what I'm saying? Like I've seen signs that threaten, that threaten bodily harm. And it's plausible deniability stuff, but that's stuff that everybody sees. They don't notice it though because they're not woke. You know, like they not woke. They don't notice it and they don't care because they're not woke. So you have to understand these things. These are things you have to understand. These are things that you have to understand. You should be moving like a king, a queen for going through this stuff. That's how you should be moving because it's like you moving like you trying to drive them crazy. If they not trying to drive you insane, you moving like you following them around, and they not following you around. That's how a lot of y'all move. You should be moving in the other way. You should be moving in the other way, like they're following you around. You should have a smile on your face. Oh, they trying to sabotage me that bad. Like when I got fired, when I got fired from one job, I was so happy because I did everything right. I just didn't speak. I spoke, but I didn't I ain't talk much. I did everything right though. But I was super happy when I got fired because I was like, well, they did that for no reason. Like I said in the last video, like I was like, man, they did that for no reason. I was like, they did it for nothing. So I was happy. So you have to understand these things. You know what I'm saying? Like these things you have to understand. These things you have to understand about gang stalking. You're the winner in this. Excuse me. You're the winner in this. You're the winner in gang stalking. The only thing is financial sabotage. You got to jump on top of that. You got to jump on that. You got to jump on financial sabotage. By removing certain bills from your life. You know, if you working to pay rent and that's the only thing you can pay, like like after you work, the bills the only thing you pay. You got to remove rent. You got to remove. I wouldn't say remove a car note, but you have to remove rent. Things like that. You got to remove something that's holding you back from being able to save money. You got to fight these people. You know what I'm saying? You got to fight them people. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I got for tonight. I don't think I'll be live tomorrow. I might be live tomorrow, but I'm never stopping. You know what I'm saying? Like I only went live today. It would have been tomorrow, but I only went live today because I ended the live very early, and I left the live running for like 15 minutes extra than what it was. So yeah, shit. I guess I'll be back on here like Monday or something like that. I'll probably be back on here Monday. Find another problem within this gang stalking community and what people thinking it is and how it's hurting them and how to help them. You know, one of the first problems I found was citizen surveillance. People thinking they friends watching them use the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Like your friends not watching you. No citizens watching you use the bathroom or take a shower. But somebody is, you know, within alphabet agencies. And that's how you should be thinking. That's how most likely it is. And that's how you should be thinking. Because it's obviously two different worlds when you think that um, you're being listened to and watched, and your ex and your your friends and your classmates are watching you through your phone camera, it's a different world than thinking that, oh, alphabet agency people are watching me through my phone camera. Because it's definitely not your friends. When people like your friends are reporting hidden cameras and Airbnbs and that being posted on the news, people finding hidden cameras and Airbnbs and that being posted on the news. And I used to think like that too. Oh, everybody watching me through my phone camera. I gotta be, I can't let nobody punk me or anything like that or this, that. Nah, nah. People not doing that. Alphabet agencies, data agencies, however you want to call them, they're the ones doing that, dispatching citizens. They'll dispatch the citizens. They'll dispatch citizens with the information that they have from what they see. They'll dispatch citizens with that information because that was already put in the movie that citizens watch you, and there's a reaction. It's a whole different world. It's a whole different world from you thinking like that, when that's actually impossible. You know, due to citizens reporting Airbnbs having hidden cameras and putting it going on the news. But that's just one problem I found. Um, but that was a big problem for me. But I'm about to get off of here. Yeah, I'm about to get off of here. I hope it's a pretty good live stream. I love y'all, and I will be back on here probably Monday. Peace out.